Morning everyone, we are back on the Kent Coast Walk. Just arriving into Gravesend now. It's been a couple of months. It's just before Easter, 2 days before Good Friday. Last time I was here was Valentine's Day. A combination of the wettest March on record, or in at least 50 years. And a couple of trips abroad that meant I've had to delay my walks for a little while. But we're back, it feels good. Here we are, Gravesend. So last time I was here in Gravesend, I wasn't very complimentary about the place, mainly based on what I'd read online and researched. And yeah, it is a bit run down. I mean, have a look around you. I'm not going to try and polish a turd here, but it did have some nice areas. Coming up from the pier up to the train station last time through the Heritage Quarter, it did have a few nice spots, so let's go and have a look at them. Well, yeah, it's pretty quiet. It is Wednesday morning, 9:45. It's pretty chilly. The weather's been a bit disappointing actually. It's forecast to be pretty sunny today, and clearly it's not. Wow, look at this remote McLaren. Nice. So we're going to look at a little statue here in this church. Statue of Princess Pocahontas, a Native American. Yeah, the same one from the Disney movie. So Pocahontas, back in the day, actually married an Englishman, came over here to live in England, and died here in 1617. She's only 22 years old, and she's still clearly revered because people are dropping flowers by the statue. Either that, or they're taking it out of the garden there and putting them there. No, these are actual real bouquets of flowers. Pretty cool. So Pocahontas gets a statue and the Queen only gets a bench. Kent Police at work. Welcome to Gravesend. And here we go, back on the coast path. Got a long old walk today, guys. It's going to be very rural as well. Going to be heading about 20 plus miles, probably about 23, 24, over to the Isle of Grain, where I'm hoping to camp. Somewhere I've always wanted to camp, but first we've got a lot of marshland, maybe a few industrial areas like last time. I'm looking forward to this walk. Should be a good one. Well, look at that, I was wrong. The Queen does indeed have a statue, a much bigger one as well than Pocahontas, with a lovely view of a multi-storey car park being built. Beat that, Pocahontas. So apparently we're now on the Saxon Shoreway. Rochester, 11 miles by bike. Unfortunately, the route we're taking is going to be more like about 35 miles. This place is quite nice. Now that is cool. I like that. That's some serious machinery. Big communist vibes here. Look at this, it looks like a Soviet village. Block of flats the armaments. Ignore the daffodils, the grey skies. So I've just been reading up on the fort. This is a barracks where the people would live, hundreds at a time, overcrowded. Most of the soldiers garrisoned here were invalids, so people that couldn't take part in active combat but could still fire a gun basically. So they would just be stood at the window watching ships go by. Is that an enemy? Bang, bang, bang. That's pretty much all they could do, living in squalid conditions. It was all the military and the government at the time ruled them capable of doing. Everyone had to serve a purpose back in those days, and that was theirs. Yeah, very cool place if you like your military history. I'm going to go to the cartridge serving room. I must, however, press on. I've got a bit of a time limit today. Need to be at the Isle of Grain by sunset. Oh, well, that's a good start, isn't it? Damn it. Solutions. Alright, so very much the same sort of vibe as coming into Gravesend. Very industrial, wrought iron fences everywhere. Hopefully it won't be long before we're out of this and out into the wilderness. Stay with me, guys, it will get better, I promise. Bloody hell. Unbelievable. Someone's put a fence in the way. Well, I'm not going all the way back, so I'm gonna have to climb over it. What day to be wearing a big old backpack as well. Absolute joke. They've got a sign here on this side of the fence for the diversion. Nothing on the other side. Madness. Worst thing about that fence being there is it's just completely unnecessary. No hazards there, there's nothing dangerous about it, it's just completely unnecessary putting that fence there. That's what we like to see, an open fence. Would not have been climbing over that one. You can walk on that sludge apparently. Wouldn't like to try it myself. Finally, some green. Good to see guys carrying guns. Excellent. Morning.
Morning.
All right. Yeah, not bad. You?
Not bad.
Good. Good. Alright, so it didn't take long to get out of the industrial area, and it's actually quite nice now. It's quite green and peaceful. Still a bit gloomy, overcast, but it's going to be quite sunny later on, so we'll see. So you got a couple of red flags over there. I'll zoom in on one of those. And over there you got the firing range, which explains the fellas with guns. Got another fort to check out. it's been blocked off by some giant Lego bricks. Well, this is very cool. No information about it whatsoever, it's just been left here. Thank God for the internet. Pretty cool, I like that, Shornemead Fort. That's not the only fort we're going to see today. Obviously this is the Thames, the gateway to London from the North Sea. And there's forts protecting the Thames all along the coast. So we're going to see at least 2 or 3 more today, I believe. So I've just got to this point here where I was supposed to turn left and head that way, north up to the cliff fort there. But this pool of water that's not supposed to be here is blocking the way, so I'm going to have to go right the way back here. Having pools of water that I'm not expecting does not bode well. Alright, thank God for that. Didn't have to walk too far out. What? Not sure what these structures would have been here. Over in the background you've got Gravesend bathed in the sunlight. Right, so you can't actually go into the fort. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go in, but not on that kind of mission today. Oh, hang on. Oh no, there's another fence. Wow, it's got its own moat. Kind of looks like a Victorian prison. Danger. Quarries are not playgrounds. Okay. Bit of overspill, but it's only pebbles. Now, watchtower of the fort there. Fly just flew down my throat. Oh, that's the worst. Look at this, our first sandy beach. Okay, it's not the best beach, but it means we're getting away from this industrial nightmare. Area. We've got the Saxon Shoreway going off this way, but we're going this way along the coast here. And the reason that's called the Saxon Shoreway is because back in the times of the Saxons, that would have been the shore. But after all this is silted up, we've got a bit more land to play with. It's kind of hard to read, but the eastern boundary of the jurisdiction of the Company of Watermen and Lightermen of the River Thames under the Act of 22G23 VIC 0133, erected 1861. Thomas White Master replaced 1982 Charles Peter Braithwaite Master. So just a quick update, guys. We're going along this path here, so not many sea views at the moment, unless of course we hop up there and have a look. But the good news is it's all very straightforward, very flat, very easy to walk along. I was expecting swamps and marshland, so I'm very content with this at the moment. There might be some swampy bits to come along later, but yeah, we'll enjoy this while it lasts. Not making particularly good progress at the moment. It's just gone 1 o'clock and I don't think I'm even a third of the way there, so I need to get the skates on a little bit. I have had my lunch already, so that took up a bit of time. We're now back onto the grass, back up on the bank above the river. Over there is the Gateway London, or Gateway to London dockyard over in Essex. So it's going to be a lot of this today. A lot of isolation, A lot of marshes, sheep, abandoned buildings. When I say a lot, we've still got about another 12 miles of this with very little along the way, just a big caravan park at All Hallows, and apart from that I don't think there is much else going on. Just as well I enjoy the isolation and the peace and quiet. Now I can turn a blind eye to the fly tipping. It's turning into a beautiful spring day. I've come down here onto the road that's parallel to the riverbank there, just for a bit of variety, just next to the marshes, because it is it's a bit samey, if I'm honest, this walk. The good thing about the walk is, and look at these birds here, it's exactly what I was going to say. It's hard to pick it up on the camera, but the bird life is abundant here. If you're a twitcher, it's a good place. If you're a twitcher who likes the peace and tranquility and quiet places, this is the place to come for you. Now I know this won't look too exciting for you, dear viewer, a pretty naff beach, but for me it's quite nice. It's a bit of variety for one, and for two, it's a sign of things to come. We get further along the coast onto those lovely sandy beaches at Broadstairs and Ramsgate, but for now it's more marshes. Another beach here, quite a nice one actually. You could actually bathe in this beach. The other one was just muddy and fenced off. Loads of these buildings along here, you'd assume these are agricultural, but in an area like this it could be military. Look more like cow sheds than bunkers, yes, but you never know. Turning into quite a nice walk this. We're not too far now from All Hallows Caravan Park. Ignore the motorbike there. All Hallows is only a few miles before Grain, so we're getting there slowly. It's been a long old walk. It's just dawned on me that I haven't seen anyone for a good couple of hours, which is surprising when you think that London is still only about 20 to 25 miles away. It's quite a nice little beach here. The tide's right out, so I don't think you'd actually want to walk on this bit. Yeah, a bit gloopy. I'm sure it's nice when the tide's in though. Quick progress report. We're now at Egypt Bay. I've no idea why it's called Egypt Bay. It's not quite Sharm el Sheikh, is it? Across the water there is Canvey Islands, and in this direction, in the distance, if I stop there and zoom in, that is Southend. And Southend is going to be pretty much opposite where we're going to be finishing today at Grain. So as you can see, it's still quite some distance yet. And this is more what I expected the path to be like, really, sort of mud and sludge and no defined path. Why that bunker is out there, I don't know what purpose that served. Presumably it didn't start off life there. Really? You think that's going to hold my weight? I'm going to have to jump. It's good having long legs sometimes. Another bunker. This one makes a bit more sense than the last one because this is actually like on land. Just coming up to All Hallows Caravan Park, big haven site. Never thought I'd be so happy to be arriving at a caravan site. Forgot until now that it's Easter holidays. I was considering seeing if they had a bar here to get a drink, but it's like a creche, so no, let's get out of here. So as I was trying to say, back there we say goodbye to the vast caravan park. Got a cobweb stuck to me, and we head off across our All Hallow marshes over to Grain. I can see the power station over there, and the heavy industry there to the south end over there to the north. By my estimation, we've got about an hour and a half's walking. We're 7 hours in. If we haven't hit the 20-mile mark yet, we're very close to doing so. It's been a long old day, but it's all been very flat, so it's been fairly easy walking, just long. So just here, the other side of the creek here, is by far the best beach we've seen all day, and we're not allowed on it. Over there is a firing range, out of bounds. I think it's Ministry of Defence, I'm not entirely sure. Right now we've got to head inland along the creek, so we say bye to the Thames for a little while. Along the creek here, inland towards Grain Village. Right, so here is where we leave the Hoo Peninsula, where we've been since around Cliff Fort sort of time, so a good few hours and a good few miles, and we're now joining the Isle of Grain, still on the England coast path, as you can see. Of course, the Isle of Grain isn't an actual island anymore. It was many centuries ago, but since then it's silted up and become conjoined to the mainland. So I've just been walking along this road about half a mile now. I turn around and I see this. But there's no sign on the other side. It's like this whole route they just expect you to be walking in one direction. Well, I didn't get shot, so that's the most important thing. Okay, so it's got a path here. So I should have been walking up there and not there, because I wouldn't get shot here, but I could get shot there. What the worst thing when you're near marshes or anywhere humid? Look at that, swarms. Ugh. Well, I guess that rules me out. After over 8 hours walking, 20 plus miles, we're almost there. Almost reached our destination across there. So that over there is the Grain Battery Forts Tower, something like that, built in the 1860s to defend against a potential invasion by the French in the Napoleonic era, and it's had bits added to it during World Wars 1 and 2. So I'm getting distracted by a drag bike. Can hear them all up here. And that is where we're going to camp tonight. First of all, I'm just going to have a quick rum and coke here on the step. I think I've earned it. I've just taken my backpack off. My shoulders need a good bit of time to sort of loosen up a bit. The tide isn't completely out yet, but it will be in about an hour, so I'll bide my time for about half an hour or so and then we'll head out there. Right, I've waited long enough, about 5 minutes. Let's get over there. Ready? Now I've got to get them wet again. So obviously once upon a time there was a proper causeway along here, but it's been taken over by the sludge. Well, I've got sort of a bit of solid ground here to walk on at least. Bit slippery. Boots are absolutely caked. It's like a set of a horror movie, isn't it? Would you dare spend the night alone in this creepy old abandoned fort? Yeah, I would actually. And in a couple of hours I won't have a choice because the tide will come in and the causeway will be impassable. Somebody's very kindly brought a ladder along, roped it onto the wall. What disconcerts me slightly is this metal object. It's literally rammed in between the two buildings. Looks like it could fall down at any minute. Right onto the ladder. Alright, here we are. Here we are. Quite a lot of rubbish, as you'd expect. Welcome, thank you. Right, looks like I've got the place to myself. Let's have a little mooch about. Put the bag down there. This must be the old munitions lift. Pretty cool. Somebody's left their phone mat from camping last time. Left just about everything else as well. Scampy forest, good choice. Take your rubbish with you next time. Bloody hell. Somebody's bought vegetable oil. A little Barbie. Another room, rubbish piled up in a corner. Have a look out there in a minute. Katie and Jordan, that's the room we've just been in. Right, beware, yes, thank you very much. Don't want to end up down there. Interesting message. Oh, lovely. This is right up my street, this is. Pretty cool. Let me out, let me out. Pretty grim. Hello! Sketchy old rusty metal thing. How did that get there? I dread to think. Another ladder. Should all come to that, that's bad luck. These tiles look kind of new. Tell you what, the draft here is pretty intense. I'm glad there's a downstairs that's all sort of sheltered, because it's freezing. It's the coldest I've been all day. Pretty cool view from up here. Just had to climb up that ladder. Great, Satan worship has been here. So my guess is this metal object used to be up here or on there, and someone's just pushed it and it's got wedged in there. Blimey. La 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 la. Oh. Heading up to the very top of the tower now. If we can make it that far. Big rusty door. Here we are, top of the tower. Views over there to the Isle of Sheppey. Looks like there's a causeway there as well. I don't know where that goes. South end on that side. So this would be the Thames estuary. Over here is the River Medway, heading down towards Rochester area, where we're headed tomorrow. You can just about make out the Kingsbury Bridge over there in the distance. Pretty cool. So we're stuck here now for about 12 hours until the tide goes out and comes back in again. It's timed perfectly really. The low tide tonight is about 7:45, and in the morning it's 7:30, something like that. So sun comes up about 6:30, so time to have a bit of breakfast and head down the causeway and carry on the walk. It couldn't have worked out any better really with the tide times. In here, and the boiler, presumably this would be the shower block, I guess. Although where they source the water from is anyone's guess. Right guys, I finished my mooch about. I'm just out here now surveying my kingdom. The view out back towards Grain. I have some water boiling up, and I have some interesting drinks to try. Here is the first, Lily's Pina Colada. Maybe you can see it better if I do it that way. pina colada flavoured cider. Original. Let's give it a go. Just tastes like a sugary cider, to be honest, at first gulp. I mean, it's refreshing. It'll go down a treat, but I wouldn't really call that cider. It's more like an alco pop. Yeah, it gets a... Oh, it's got a coconut aftertaste. It gets a 6.5, I'd say. It's not the best. The temperature's really dropped, guys. It's not even dark yet, and it's blooming cold. I've got another strange cider to try out. This time it's same brand, Lily's, and it's Coca-Cola flavour. Collider. Cola cider. Collider. Should be interesting. I like it better than the pina colada. It kind of tastes like, do you remember back in like the 90s, they used to have a roller cola, like a cheap 35p for 2 litre bottle of Coke. That's what it tastes like, but with a little bit of an alcoholic feel to it. Again, 6.5 out of 10, it's not great. So tonight's delicious meal is a Wayfarer's meatballs and pasta. Let's dig in. That's pretty decent. A little bit salty. It's a nice meatball. I guess a 7.5. Right, it got dark very quickly there as I was just setting up. Here we go. This is where we're at. I've got my super warm sleeping bag in there. I'm going to need it. Unfortunately, I have had to come into the cum zone. The only other room that was sort of warm was that one there with the big hole in it. So yeah, I didn't want to risk falling in there when I'm getting up for a pee in the middle of the night. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. The sun is coming up early tomorrow, about 6:22 is the sunrise, so it'll be coming up before 6. So I'm going to get my head down now. It's only 8:15. I'll probably read for a bit, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It's 7:15. Slept really well last night. I've been awake since about 6:15, but I didn't want to get out of the bivvy. It was a bit cold, a bit drafty. I was wrapped up in my winter sleeping bag, so I was nice and toasty. I didn't really want to move, but here we are, just brewing up some hot water for some coffee and some porridge this morning. I'm not really in a rush to get moving yet because it's a bit cold, a bit drizzly out there. I did have a look this morning and decided against it. I'm going to have my porridge. I've got an apple and 2 bananas and a couple of chocolate bars to eat. I've got a big old breakfast this morning, got a feast. I'm going to have that and then get moving. Well, I'm pleased to say it's brightened up somewhat. It's still blooming cold though. It's now 8:15. It's time to head back over the causeway. Well, it spent most of the night raining, so it feels a lot muddier along here than it did yesterday. Luckily the rain just stopped. It was still raining when I woke up, and it stopped just before I left, which is a result. I did have a very strange dream last night, which I was on the fort at the start, and then the next thing I knew I was being swept out to sea, but I was still in my bed that I have at home. So I was lying in my bed, going up and down on the waves like it's the most natural thing in the world, like I didn't have any issue with it. It's quite bizarre, but I slept really well, despite the odd dreams. Well, I enjoyed that. That was a cracking little adventure over there on the fort. We say goodbye to the fort now, and we also say goodbye to the River Thames over here as we are heading along the Medway. So it may start to get a little bit gloomy here. I'm not just talking about the weather, also the industrial scenery here on the England coast path. Nothing particularly exciting currently going on. I've had to come off the coast because of the power station over there. So just trundling along Grain Road, the one and only road in and out of Grain, heading towards Medway towns. Got a couple more miles of this and then back onto the coast. Hopefully, because the tide's coming in. I don't know if it's accessible. I hope it is. Well, at last, we can leave the eyesores behind for a few moments at least. Very quaint little airfield there. Now left the Isle of Grain. We're in Stoke now, not Stoke-on-Trent. Little, well, it's like three little hamlets, Upper, Middle and Lower Stoke. Still very rural. Still pretty industrial, but a bit less. Plenty of sludge. I'd say we're about a third of the way to Rochester. It's been pretty tough going. Not so much in terms of the difficulty of the walking, but it's just been a bit samey. But it's starting to get a bit more interesting now, a few boats and things. How cool was that? He gave me a thumbs up. That's lifted my spirits a bit anyway. I think these boats have seen better days. Victims of the sludge. So I don't know where this so-called coast path is taking me, but it certainly isn't the coast. I'm gonna have a little break in the church anyway. Last night. It's been a bit of a slog for a little while since leaving the church. River Medway's over there, another big Amazon warehouse over there. Onwards. Right, so this bit heads back down to the coast, down to Cockham Wood. But I'm not going there today because I've been there before and it gets cut off by high tide, and high tide's due pretty soon, so we're going to be continuing through the mud. And we're back on the Saxon shore. Right, just coming up to Hoo village, the village that gives its name to the peninsula, or vice versa. And it's where the England coast path and the Saxon shoreway combine forces. On there it says alternative route. There's another route up there which is the low tide option, and we're approaching high tide in a couple of hours, so we're not going to risk it. We're going to continue through Hoo. Right, we're now in Upner. As you can see, the tide's almost all the way in now. So the alternative route would have been along there, but it would have been impossible with a high tide. That's our first up close view of Medway Towns. Over there is St Mary's Island, which I believe is part of Chatham. And we've got to head along this way towards Rochester. I think we've got about another 4 miles or so to go. My feet are aching like anything. I'm looking forward to the end. So now on the outskirts of Rochester, like any other town, the outskirts are ugly, busy roads. So for those of you that don't know the Medway Towns, it's a conurbation of 5 towns: Strood, Rochester, Chatham, Gillingham and Rainham. We're going to be visiting Rochester, Chatham and Gillingham on these travels. Rochester today and the other 2 on the next video. As you can see, it started raining. We're on these outskirts, it's very grey, very busy, not terribly exciting, hence I haven't been doing much vlogging for the last little while. It's one of those now where I'm very much looking forward to getting to the finish line. First hill I've had to climb in the whole 2 days. This one called Donkey Hill. Very apt. So from up here on Donkey Hill you can see it's just industrial everywhere. You can see right along here, along Medway. You can just about see in the distance there Rochester Cathedral. But there's nowhere for the pedestrians of the Medway area to walk along here, along the river. It's just, you have to come right inland, back down again and all around the route. For an England coast path, it's not very coastal. That feeling when you can see your finish line just over there, the castle. There she is. At last we're back on the river. Look at this. That's going to be the end of the video there, guys. Next time I'm going to be walking from here, Rochester Castle, over to the King's Ferry Bridge. I'm absolutely shattered right now. I'm going to the pub to get me a pint, dry off a little bit and get me some food as well. Thank you for joining me on this one, guys. I'll see you next time. Leaving the caravan park behind at All Hallows. Hallowed be thy name. Fuck that up. Hello be thy name. No. Is it? Hello be thy name? Yeah, that is right. Oh, fuck knows. So we've left Grain now, and we're in Stoke. Not Stoke-on-Trent. There's actually an upper Stoke, middle stroke. Stroke. Oh. All right, guys, that's going to be the end. I'm not pointing at you, I'm pointing at me.